any more questions?
Yeah, these are all mine at the minute. I will get to a couple. There wasn't even many on that Instagram post. They were all weird bots writing crap. Yeah, mine was kind of going to be that same sort of question. That's what I was going to say. Is I didn't finish what I was saying. My goal straight after the lockdown is to get to 22 stone, which is 306 pounds. I struggle at 19, 20 stone to carry it, but I think I'm going to have to sit at like 20 stone and just carry it for a bit, because I get there and I'm like, this is fucking hard. This is hard to carry 20 stone around, run around after a 6-year-old. And God forbid if they want to go to a play area or a fucking climbing place, I'm like, fuck, I'm sweating just looking at it. But yeah, that's kind of, obviously I'm going to adjust as I go, but I think Sarah thinks I'm a bit nuts, but I'm just like, I want to push myself to see. I might just get really fat, but I've been watching a lot of like pro bodybuilders and bodybuilders and different other stuff, and I kind of feel I haven't been pushing stuff like food wise, which is where I accumulated what I've got. So I have grown, obviously, from prep, because I was so lean that my body just fucking absorbed everything for so long. I just stayed lean, but just fucking grew for like so long, and then just got fat afterwards for a bit. I obviously grew muscle with it, but a lot of stuff I've been reading and looking at. A lot of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't get fat. You shouldn't do this." Some of my biggest progress is getting the fattest I've ever been, and then getting the leanest I've ever been, and then doing that. Whereas now, I got to 14.5 stone, got to 19 stone, and was like, this is too hard, and went back down straight away. I didn't just sit there, or I didn't carry on. I just sat there and like, this is too hard. And I think that's why, like, one of the things that I used to love is I'm one of them people, what people used to say, you won't get anywhere because you get fat. But now they look at me and they think, how did you get like that? By getting fat for a few years. That's why I push the levels with it, with food. So that's why I've kind of, I don't know if it's lockdown or what, but I'm just kind of like striving to kind of massively push my boundaries again with that. And that's purely it. It's just push the food. Because literally, on 19, when I was like 19 stone, I think, I'm sure I was only on like 4,000 something calories with like a little bit more.
Yeah.
Say any crap by it afterwards or whatever. When before, highest I've been is like 8,000. So I'm not really pushed. I'm like, the way I've kind of looked at stuff and looked at my past is that I've got lean for so long now because I got to 19 stone, and there's only so far you can like, I was staying the same weight and still going down, but for so long, and then I would have had to carry on dropping again. Well, if I'm only on 4,000 calories, say, and when I was competing at my last week or whatever, I was on 1,200. It's not going to take too long to get down to like 2,000 calories, is it? From 4,000. Whereas before, yeah, I was a lot more fatter, but I think it's going to work even more now, is get to that size and be working with a lot higher calories. And then I can be like, oh, I'm on 8,000 calories, say, or 6 or whatever. Take away 500 calories from there and I'm dropping. Or, you know what I mean? And start
Yeah.
there. So I'm like here rather than here, say. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I've been that's what my past has been, but I accumulated a lot of fat with it. Whereas now I have the muscle, I think once I go up, if I get to 20 stone, I ain't going to look like I was when I was in London with a fucking round face with no neck and no, literally fucking everywhere, just round. Like I felt fucking huge, but I had a fucking round head and everything. But I don't think I would be that bad if I get to 20 stone, because I got to 19 stone something. And yeah, these bits got a bit fatter. But then that's what the beard's going to be for, is cover the fatness. Cover the fucking chubby cheeks and shit. But yeah, that's what my question was kind of going to lead into, that is kind of what's your kind of goals with bodybuilding for, say, the next... I never like it when people say 5 years. So like the next few years.
Mate, honestly, I couldn't tell you. All I know at the minute is I enjoy training.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be back in a bloody gym, and I can't wait to have my qualifications behind me and build up my clientele as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Obviously, my biggest challenge for me is obviously my own body, because if I lose a lot of weight and I'm a skinny little squirt, people ain't going to take me seriously as a personal trainer. It ain't going to happen. So
Yeah.
I would like to do a competition, but I don't know. I enjoy eating too much at the minute, so I just want to see how much weight I can put on and see how big I can get. Like I'm not in no rush to stand on stage and do it or anything like that. Like I enjoy training. I would like to hit new PBs when I get back in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. It's, and like I said earlier, before we like at the beginning of the video, focus more on the clothing side of things. And that's about it, mate. I completely honestly, I enjoy training. I'm not in it to compete. You know, I'm not saying I won't ever compete. But
Yeah, I think my problem was that the first ever time I went, I'd never been to shows. Like I was an avid bodybuilder where I was a fucking hermit crab at one point. Like maybe, but just before we kind of met, I spent a lot of time in playing the Xbox and watching bodybuilding and training and diet. And that's all I lived for a bit. And just my daughter on weekends, that was my kind of off time. The rest of the time it was doing my qualifications. So I was doing that. So that's still gym based, but everything was just gym. And I was just loving that. And then I went to the Biddeford bodybuilding show.
yes, I remember that.
And I'd never seen anyone on stage. I'd only watched it on a video or whatever. And you see
That was
people on
at
stage and it's like, I want to do that. Like, it was
Biddeford
just
College,
a
wasn't it? And
switch
we
in
met
my
Aaron
head at
Lambo.
that time was, I don't know when, but I want to do that.
Yeah.
And
So that was when we met Aaron Lambo, wasn't it?
no, I went the year before.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, I went the year or two before that. I went to the first ever one.
What, in Biddeford?
Yeah, there was the first ever one was, oh, I can't, I was going to find it. It's massively far through my Facebook. It was either 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2017, I think, or 18. No, 17, I think. 17, 18-ish.
Fair. But that's like, yeah, like I said, that's why that's why I'm, obviously become a personal trainer,
Yeah.
because I have a passion for fitness. I enjoy training, and it's like I said, I've got no passion to compete. I'm not saying I won't ever do it, but at the minute, I want to focus on
Like,
qualifications, and see how big I can genuinely get.
sorry, can I just pause this for 1 second? Right, sorry guys. I just went to record, go and put my daughter to bed. She was just saying goodnight. What was he saying? Oh, we were talking about.
Yeah, just how, like, why I become a PT. It's not. I love what I do, mate. And like I've got a massive passion for fitness. Like, if I can help people like get in shape and enjoy doing it, like, you're winning. If you got a job and you enjoy doing it and you get paid for it, you fucking and you set your own hours. Fucking, like, it all works around you and your family. Do you know what I mean? You're winning in my books.
Yeah, what's it like in your area for PTs though?
I've got, hold on.
Is it very?
I've got two to three, 2 clients to 3 clients, and
Yeah, but is it very? Is it very saturated in your area, or is there a lot of personal trainers, or is it?
I'm not. I'm going to say there's not a lot. No. Obviously you've got the ones that genuinely work in the gyms, etc., like leisure centre.
Yeah, there might be some other ones, but they're not. Yeah, I get what you mean. Because Biddeford's Biddeford and Barntsville, it's quite saturated, isn't it? Really.
Well, we've been looking as well, obviously, because like we're wanting to move anyway, due to obviously there's not a lot of us in a 2-bedroom house. That's come out. There's a lot of us in a 2-bedroom house,
Yeah.
and we wanted to move. I love where I live, but we have been looking, and if I go further up, and I'm a level 3, I cost more. I'm more expensive. I'm not saying I'm doing it for the money, but money helps when you've got bloody children. I mean, and you've got bills to pay.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You have to. Like the thing is that if if you're someone, because I've found that some personal trainers what make it really well is they start off living at home, so they have no bills. They don't really have very much outgoing, so they can charge very low compared to everyone else to start with to build up a client base.
Yeah.
When if you're already someone who lives in a house and you have children and you have everything else, you kind of have to calculate your earnings or your hourly rate to what you need to earn. And I think that's what the problem is sometimes, is the people who make it really well, they start off with no outgoings at all. And they can be like, oh yeah, I'm going to charge this. When people...
Yeah. Well,
but then it doesn't really matter in that essence, is that I think people are realizing now that just because someone charges less doesn't mean they're more better.
Yeah. Well, now, like we were saying, me and Rosie were saying, for myself personally, it would be best for myself to work in a commercial gym. Go to say, build up your clientele in the gym before you go and take the world by storm by going self-employed and I mean, because once you've made that choice to go self-employed,
Well, you'll probably still be self-employed anyway from that gym.
yeah, but obviously then you can take your client base with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
My long-term goal is to open a gym.
yeah.
Like that's my long-term goal, with a doubt, and it will happen. I'll have a fucking amazing gym, and people from all around the world is gonna fucking want to come and train in it. It's as simple as that. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think that was one of my goals, but kind of my head at the moment is that I want to do. I don't mind going and doing another job and personal training as well, but I want to build up a kind of good client base, but people who I can help. You know what I mean? So like, that's why I'm saying I'll go and get a regular job where I've got regular wage, only because of the fear of straight starting out, because I could get into a gym and do it that way, but kind of you've got to do so many hours, haven't you? And you've got to do this and you've got to do other stuff. Whereas my thing is that when this lockdown's finished, I'm going to be looking for a normal job, but I've been advised by these people what are supposed to help me with mental health to do a job centre and different stuff because of my assessments and stuff. They said the path I want to go down, to go and give my services for 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week for free, voluntary for a bit, and work from there, or see about funding to pay me for so many hours a week to be a personal trainer in a therapy place for mental health. So then they can turn around and be like, well, we've got a qualified personal trainer in our building for 3 hours every whatever to help people with training, diet, whatever, for them 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because I think that by doing that, the volunteering or the funding bit, I reckon for the first bit, that will blow up. Because the amount of people with mental health who have low self-esteem and everything else, and then being able to say, there's a qualified personal trainer sat in that room who has PTSD, has had depression, has had anxiety, has other things they keep trying to diagnose him with, sat in that other room, who can relate how you feel, how you've been, medications, understand things, research these things, but also be qualified to turn around and say, right, if you tell me what you've eaten for a week and come and see me next week, I will do you a diet for in a few days. Or I will work out your calories or whatever and say, right, all I have done is cleaned up the diet you are eating to start with.
Yeah.
And tell me how you feel by just doing that. And I think that will kind of blow up, and kind of that sort of way of doing my part of kind of helping people with mental health, but also my way of getting kind of known in Biddeford without having to be charging very low, or without having to work my ass off in the gym, grinding away for whatever, when I can quite easily...
Do you want to stay there?
What, in that place, in the mental health place?
No, basically what I'm saying is, will you be in Biddeford now until you die in day?
I don't know. In reality, not that this is a goal, but I've kind of discussed going to other country in whatever the foreseeable future, because property prices are very cheap in some places, and it would have to be like I've spoke to people in the gym who go to places and they're advising me on prices of houses and different other stuff, and they're like, there's no one who's a personal trainer there. There's not even a gym. So like I could be that first person to go there and be like, right, I'm gonna open an amazing gym and be the only gym and the only personal trainer in that fucking whole place. But it's something what is far in the future, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of. I quite like Biddeford because, well, I don't mind Biddeford, but kind of, I quite like it because we kind of just stay to ourselves. I've kind of been like that for years anyway, but like Sarah's got me to kind of open up to different people now anyway in Biddeford.
Yeah.
Like to do with the music and different other sides of it, and like playing music with people, and I'm rapping. There's no rappers there, and I'm rapping, and there's these people who are like, some of them are probably like 70 or 80, and they're like, and I can feel and understand what you are going through,
Yes.
and it's like, oh, okay, because I was well worried about like I've kind of been in my own little kind of circle for ages where it's gym people or people I already know. You know what I mean? So it's like very rare I meet anyone new unless it's I know them from the gym. You know what I mean? It's like you talk to someone from the gym or whatever, and you build up that kind of friendship or whatever from that. And most of the time, a lot of people I know, up until like being with Sarah, if anyone said to me, I'd be like, yeah, I know them from the gym. I know him from the gym. I know them from school. They're my mate for 20 fucking ever years, this, that, the other. Whereas now I can actually kind of be with people who I think I probably wouldn't go up and just talk to, but where we all do music and they've been like, oh, I can feel your lyrics. And I'm like, what? And they're like, I can actually feel your lyrics. I can feel and see where that is coming from and everything else. And I'm like, freaking hell, some people wouldn't understand that. But because they play music and they write music and everything else, and they understand how it's rap, they can be like, I can feel where you're coming with from it. Did you want to go for a fag? I don't even know how long we've been on here for.
I don't know, mate. You're the one recording it.
I know it doesn't say a time anywhere.
That's fine, mate. I'll take you with me. I'm not. So you're a good guy.
But yeah, we'll kind of gone off a bit as well. But the next question I was going to discuss was what do you feel is the biggest thing that people don't put enough into their bodybuilding or etc.
Diet.
Huh?
It's diet. It's as simple as that. Everyone thinks
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that
that's my honest opinion, mate. Everyone thinks it's just train, train, train. It's not. Your diet's fucking 80% of bodybuilding. Simple as that.
but I know some people who eat too clean
Yeah,
because
just chicken and rice.
yeah, and I don't know if it's because I can't live like that, and I'm not dieting.
It's
I can
very
do that. I can do that for so many meals a day because that's what I normally do anyway.
very regimental.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a prep meal every 2 hours on the dot. Boom, boom, boom. Nah, fuck
I
that.
don't do that.
It's nah.
I don't do that. I used to. I used to fucking prep everything for, like, I will still prep meals, but I'll only prep a couple meals for the day. So, like, the next 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
I've
Nah,
just got two
fuck it.
chicken and rice meals.
As long as I'm getting the calories in,
Yeah. Yeah.
as long as I'm getting my calories in, and obviously I'm trying to put on weight. I mean, as long as I got a decent breakfast, decent lunch, decent dinner, and then I'll have something in the evening as well, something like that. But
Mate,
yeah, that's it.
I remember when you were buying fucking 2 lots of steaks and fucking 2 lots
Yeah,
of meals and eating that. And I was like,
it's,
that's a bit too much. But
that's the thing, though,
I
honestly.
kind
Like
of feel
that day,
that some people don't kind of go with that side of it.
that,
Some
that
people
day,
do
I know
go to
exactly
that
what day you're on about.
extreme. Do you know what I mean?
We went
Like
to
you, I've kind of said to people before.
I do it like that. I do it like that because I enjoy it. Like I like making it fun as well. Do you know what I mean? Instead, like if I miss breakfast, I'll have a fucking fairly sized lunch. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be so strict. Unless you are competing. If you're competing and getting ready for you're doing your food prep and you're getting ready for a bodybuilding show, and then it doesn't have to be so strict. You don't need to
Yeah.
be so fucking beating yourself up so much. Just as long as you're getting the calories in, you're enjoying what you eat, and you're training and you're pitting your all into it. That's what it fucking is. It's not rocket science, man.
Well,
People
the
make
other
out like
thing I
it
was
is.
going to say about diet, I don't know if you've had anyone like it at all very much, but I've noticed that a lot of people won't have a variety of meats and fish and shit. They will
Yeah, no, a lot of them
they will solely live on eggs,
chicken.
chicken, and turkey, and possibly
Mm-hmm.
Tuna. The rest of it they won't eat. And a lot of people, like I've noticed a lot of people, they will have an argument with red meats, too much fish, too much this. Too much of anything is fucking bad. End of the day, innit?
Yeah,
But you should be having, this is why I always say to someone, your diet isn't always going to stay the same, and it's going to have a variety of stuff and have all your vitamins and your nutrients and everything from that diet plan or from your calories. That's what you should be getting, because from chicken you're going solely for the least fat. Yes, turkey's probably a bit less. Yes, fishes, whatever. But a lot of people go for chicken because they know it's lean. When in actual fact, I can diet on with red meats, fish, chicken. I can fit it in my calories and my fats, because what people don't realize is that from chicken, you're not getting what you are the same as red meat. But then these people were going by creatine and they were going by this and they were going by that. Well, if you're buying the creatine, that should be up that should be supporting your diet. So your diet should already have creatine in it, which comes from red meat. Because you get creatine from red meat and you get the fats. Because most people think, oh, red meat's bad for you because it's fats, and the way that it has been, like they always go, I've had people say about hormones and everything in red meat. What they don't realize is chickens are fucking just as bad, if not worse. I've never seen a chicken the fucking size of some of the chickens I've bought. Like, some of the chickens I've bought from a shop, I'm like,
a lot of the supermarket ones that you buy, like Tesco, a lot of it's just water.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's pumped up with water or it's pumped up with hormones.
Yeah.
Because you literally, you get it. And I've picked up a chicken or something before, and I'm like, how the fuck has anyone got a chicken that size? Because I'll go to my mum's house who's got chickens and pick it up and be like, there's fuck all meat on that. Like, I ain't eating that. Like, if it, like, say if we went into a thing, I wouldn't even bother going to my mum's to eat their chickens because they're solely for eggs, because there ain't much meat on them, because they're not fed, they're not overfed, and they're not
You do yours at,
and whatever.
where do you get your? You get yours at My Protein, don't you?
What's that?
Your meat.
No, Muscle Foods.
Muscle Foods. I know. Let's see. We go to what is it? The meat. It's the Meat Man. Literally, you type in the Meat Man. And
I've heard of that. There's quite a few. They are quite good. I only went with Muscle Foods because they had a deal on at that time. But where we've got, well, I say we, I eat a lot of the meat. Where we've got now from when I was buying off them from a year ago, I would look for deals. Mm-hmm. Now I've ordered for over a year, I know where to get certain discounts for it, and I know what we eat.
Yeah.
So rather than going for their deals, which will have some other stuff in it that I don't want for free or buying, I will just put in what I want and find the discount.